Okay, hi everyone. Thank you for coming. This is our peer learning series. So, peer learning essentially we started doing because it kind of becomes like a nice summary of the week or like a couple of weeks of learnings from our peers. So, within quantum computing India, we have like three streams right now. One is quantum finance, one is quantum machine learning, and quantum cryptography. The quantum devices and networks team has kind of merged with the quantum cryptography team. We are working on various ways of optimizing the prime factorization problem. Shorts is one way to do it. Annealing is another way. So what we'll be seeing today around 5 o'clock is about that using annealing and optimization parameters. So the first 1 hour will be with the quantum machine learning team. So KG, who heads the team, will let us know what the QML team has been up to, and Nishmita will talk about the introduction to Penny Lane, followed by Pinaki and Shubham about the Hacker Earth experience that they had. All right, cool. KG, you want to start? All right. KG had shared the.
Um, in another stream, we are building real life use cases like how quantum machine learning can be used in the real life situation. And in the third stream, we are trying to build tools kind of thing which can bridge the gap in the available quantum machine learning infrastructure, like a missing TensorFlow connector in the Pennyland framework, something like that. So this in the three streams, our team is working. And as a part of today peer learning session, our team member will explore or they share their knowledge about Pennyland and their experience in the hacking event, hackathon event. Uh, that's all from the introduction side. Now I'll hand over to Nishmita to start Pennyland introduction. Over to you, Nishmita. Thank you.
Hey guys, this is Nishmita here. Today I am going to speak about introduction to Penny Lane. Uh, yeah, uh, maybe if you know about IBM Qiskit, that is the highly used QC platform. Similar to that, we have Penny Lane. Penny Lane is a cross-platform Python library for quantum machine learning, automatic differentiation, and optimization of hybrid quantum classical computation that is built by Xanadu. So Penny also gives the simulator and hardware for platforms like IBM Q, Strawberry Fields, Google Circ, Rigetti Forest, Microsoft QDK, and Project Q. Okay. The major difference between other along with qubit model, it also supports continuous variable model. Let's see what is the difference between those two. The qubit model uses discrete valued qubits, whereas CV model uses q modes, that is reside in an infinite dimensional space. Qubits are made up of semiconducting materials, whereas q modes are made up of photons. The initial state of the qubit is zero state. Similarly, vacuum is the initial state for a q mode. Simulating CV systems are more efficient than the qubit systems. These are the difference between those two systems. Let's see the gate operations in CV mode. So I hope you guys are familiar with qubit system, the gate operations. So I'm just speaking about the gate operations in CV mode, since it is less common. That's why. So in CV mode, gates are classified as Gaussian and non-Gaussian gates. Within the both are described within the phase space. What is phase space? A phase space is refers to plotting the particles momentum and position on a two-dimensional graph. It, it represents all the possible states of the particle in the graph. So the position is represented in x-axis and momentum will be taken in the y-axis. So I already told there are two types of gates like Gaussian gates and non-Gaussian gates. The squeezing gate, rotation gates in the CV mode are falls into Gaussian gates. These Gaussian gates have the positive quasi probability distributions, and that can be classically simulated. Quasi probability distribution is also same as the probability distribution. So non-Gaussian gates such as Kerr gate or cubic phase gate acts non-linearly, and they have a negative quasi probability distributions. So here are the few popular gates in CVM model. The first one is a vacuum state. Vacuum state is similar to the, I mean, that is the lowest energy Gaussian state. Sorry. Yeah. Uh, it has no displacement or squeezing in phase space. It has positive quasi probability distribution. So here is the image for the vacuum state. And next we have squeezing gate. Squeezing gate is another Gaussian gate that has the positive quasi probability distribution, and it can be represented similar to this thing. This image represents that. That has the transformation on position as well as momentum axis. Position is shown in the x-axis and momentum in the y-axis. This animation shows the squeezing gate acting on vacuum state. So next we have rotation gate. It is also one of the Gaussian gates and has the positive quasi probability distribution, and this rotates the phase space. You can see in the animation here. Then we have displacement gate. Displacement gate is again another Gaussian gate, and it, we are representing it as a complex value alpha. Um, it shifts position by value proportional to the real part of the alpha and momentum by imaginary part of the alpha. So as the value of alpha increases, the state displaced more to the right. You can see in the animation here. Next thing we have is a cubic phase gate. This is the non-Gaussian gate, and it has negative quasi probability distribution. You can see that here. So this gate shifts momentum by gamma x hat square. That means here gamma is the definable parameter that this transforms the momentum, but it doesn't transform the position. In the animation, we can see that has the negative quasi probability distribution as well. So next thing we have is Kerr gate. Kerr gate is again a non-Gaussian gate, and this is similar to the rotation gate. Rotation gate rotates the phase space. Similarly, it also does the rotation, and it has the negative quasi probability distribution. So next we have is the key concepts and terminologies in Penny. So the first one is wires. In Penny Lane, the term wires is used to refer the quantum subsystem. Here, most of the time it represents qubit, and if it is CV devices, then wire represents the Q mode, quantum mode. So then next is Q node. Q node represents the encapsulation of the quantum function. Either I will explain it in the demo later. In the program, I'll show that what is Q node. The next thing we have is circuit ansatz. Ansatz usually describes the subroutine consisting of the sequence of gates applied to the wires. Next thing is quantum embedding. Quantum embedding means representing the classical data in quantum states in Hilbert space via using quantum feature map. It takes the classical data point and it translates to the set of gate parameters in quantum circuit. If the data point is X, then the quantum state corresponding to it will be ket psi X, whatever we have here. There are two types of embedding. The one is basis embedding, and another is the amplitude embedding. Basis embedding is associated with the input will be represented as the computational basis state of qubit system. So for this, the classical data should be in the form of binary strings. This is exactly the bitwise translation of the binary strings to the corresponding states of the quantum subsystem. I have given an example here. For example, X is equal to 1001. If we embed it into the quantum state, it will be like this: ket 1001. One bit of classical information is represented by one quantum subsystem or qubit. So in similarly in amplitude embedding, we'll be encoding the data into the amplitudes of the quantum state. Next thing we have is a feature map. Feature map is the mathematical map that embeds classical data into quantum state that will be executed by various circuit. Okay. Then we have parameter shift rule. That is the approach to measure the gradients of a quantum circuit. Then we have variational quantum circuits, also known as parameterized quantum circuits. These variational circuits are the quantum algorithms that depends on the tunable parameters. It also it is similar to the standard circuit. I mean standard quantum circuit. Like it will be having the three features here mentioned here. The preparations of fixed state, that is the initial state, and a quantum circuit uh, u of theta, it is parameterized by set of free parameters, that is theta. So measurement of the observable uh, being, that be observable at the output. This observable may be made up of local observables for each wire in the circuit, or just the subset of the wires. Expectation values of this is calculated as f of theta is equal to bra 0 u dagger of theta observable b uh, u theta ket 0. Here theta is the parameters of the circuit. So this is about the key concepts in the penny lane. I'll just go through the few of the examples provided in the site. The using penny lane, we have to do this. Okay, yeah. The first one here is qubit rotation. As I told, penny lane works both on qubit and qubit. So I'm taking two examples, one on qubit and another on cube mode. In this example, we are just trying to rotate the qubit. Like if it is the in the state ket 0, the output should be ket 1. So the circuit given here is this one. So the we have to apply rotation gates. It is Rx and Ry gates to get the desired state. That is, if we input ket 0, then we have to get ket 1, and if it is ket 1, then we have to get ket 0. That's what we are trying to achieve here. So here we are applying Rx gate and Ry gate. So Rx gate, as we know, this is the matrix representation, and for this Ry gate we have this thing. So after applying these two gates, we have this state, like Ry phi2 and into Rx phi1 and ket 0. So to measure the expectation value, that is brass psi Pauli Z operator and ket psi, then will be getting this formula. That is, after simplification like this, will get cos phi1 into cos phi2. So to get the desired output, we have to vary the values of phi1 and phi2. That is the goal of the this uh, tutorial now. The to get the best possible value for phi1 and phi2. So if the state is ket 0, then the value will be in between the 1 and -1, where when 1 when it is ket 0 and -1 when it is ket 1. This is what we are trying to do here. in the circuit, we will be having the parameters phi1 and phi2. So yeah, from here the coding part starts. Like the first thing we are doing is we are just importing the libraries required in Pennylane. For NumPy we have wrapper, Pennylane's wrapper. So it is advised to import NumPy from the Pennylane itself. So after import is done, then we are creating the device. Creating the device is uh, this means we have to either select the hardware device or the simulator. Since it is qubit 1, so we are selecting the default qubit here. So wire is equal to 1 means that we are taking 1 qubit. So then we have constructing the Q node. So in Pennylane we have we are constructing Q node similar to this. Like we have to create a decorator Q node, and we have to pass the device which is created in the beginning. So this is the circuit created. Circuit in the sense we are uh, mentioning the gates and which gate is acting on uh, which wire in the sense qubit or q mode, and which parameter uh, we have to take. All those things will be mentioned here. It will be returning the expectation value. So as I told, we have two parameters here, phi1 and phi2. That is that will be given by this params. Params can be either be the value or dictionary, or will be any of the list value. So here is the sample. So in this thing, we are just creating, calling this circuit with the random values. So it is returning the expectation value. So then we have creating the gradients and the optimizations. So now the what we are trying to achieve is with the best values of phi1 and phi2, we have to get the required states. That is, if we provide get 0, then we have to get 1. If it is get 1, then we have to get 0. So that is the target we are having. So for that we need better values for phi1 and phi2, so that we will be changing its values. In the beginning we will be giving the random value for phi1 and phi2, and going forward we'll be iterating it and optimizing those values to get the desired output with the very low cost. So here we have given cost function, and then here we have uh, initialized the parameter values, that is randomly initializing with the very small values. So here is the code for achieving the thing. So we have optimizer here, and then we have mentioned steps for iterating it, and params has the initial values, and here we are iterating it. So we are iterating it and also printing the cost for each step. So if you observe here, the cost started from 0.99, and in the end, after reaching almost 40 steps, we have got minus 1. So that is constant, and we can say that is the optimum cost, and for that what the rotation angle we have received is this one. So for this is the angle phi1 and phi2, which gives the desired output. So if we if we can substitute those values in this, we will get the desired output. This is the qubit rotation in the qubit mode. So next thing we have is Q mode, that is CV mode. So the in this example, we have taken Gaussian transformation, that is providing Q mode gates and getting the desired output. So here what we are doing is, this is the desired circuit. So here what is uh, the 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 thing we are achieving here is the uh, uh, photon number, like the here this gives the mean photon number. We are trying to achieve the mean number should be 1. So if you see this circuit, here it is get 0 means vacuum state. Since it is a CV mode, then this is vacuum state. So then we have displacement gate, and then we have rotation gate. So again, we are applying the displacement gate on vacuum state and rotation gate as well. So here again we have alpha and phi as a parameters. So let's start constructing the code now. Like, yeah, here we are importing the required libraries. It is similar to the previous example. So here the device selected is Gaussian. Since it is CV mode, it is default Gaussian. So here we have constructed a Q node, similar to the previous example. And we have here, if you observe, we have 3 parameters. That is, for since alpha is a complex number, then we are taking real part and imaginary part separately, and then we have phi. So for displacement, oh sorry, yeah, for displacement we have alpha as a parameter. So if you observe, wire mentioned here is 0, that means we are applying to the vacuum state. That is the first one. So again it returns expectation value. So again we have optimization here, that is used square difference cost function. So then we have similar to the previous example, we have taken optimizer and steps, initial params, similar to the previous one. So here we are iterating for 20. So here we are getting optimized real part and imaginary part and phi values. Here also it is it is printing a cost for each steps, and if you observe, it is after 18th, yeah, after 18th, it is constant.